Head of FBI. Christopher A. Wray. Head of CIA. William J. Burns. U.S. Secretary of State. Antony Blinken. I. Anthony Arellano have solved anomalous health incidents, Havana syndrome attacks, and attacks on targeted individuals. Anomalous health incidents, Havana syndrome attacks, and attacks on targeted individuals are side effects from being saturated with a simulated spoof GPS L1 1575. 42 MHz, which is a microwave modified with a digital phase locked loop, which then becomes a global targeting electromagnetic microwave digital phase locked loops able to saturate a target anywhere in the world to obtain surveillance by saturation. Anomalous health incidents / Havana syndrome attacks are produced with a GNSS/GPS simulator generator, which can produce and make modifications to the L1 1575. 42 MHz microwave radio frequency, combining a digital phase locked loop and / or a vector generator to turn audio from within a targeted area into FM signal and demodulate / playback it with an SDR digital software defined radio. Anomalous health incidents / Havana syndrome attacks are side effects of a spoof GPS signal. The ailments, side effects / cricket noise have a technical name: electromagnetic hypersensitivity syndrome, microwave auditory effect, hearing / fray effect. A GPS signal is really a frequency carrier signal, carrier wave / sine wave that can be manipulated, modulated records onto the carrier signal, demodulates, plays back from the carrier signal, and is carried on the carrier wave / sine wave. This is a L1 microwave radio frequency. Our GNSS/GPS is actually the transportation system for these radio frequencies that can be simulated, modified, and manipulated, keeping its same frequency, able to utilize the world's GNSS/GPS satellite system to carry out GPS spoofing, satellite surveillance, better known as anomalous health incidents / Havana syndrome attacks. Anomalous health incidents / Havana syndrome attacks are the product of a spoofed modified GNSS/GPS L1 1575. 42 MHz modified with a digital phase locked loop. It works by saturation of a targeted area just the same way a traditional GNSS/GPS spoofing would work, but with the modifications made with the addition of a digital phase locked loop. This provides modulation, rec, and demodulation playback onto and from the spoofed GNSS/GPS L1 1575. 42 MHz carrier signal / carrier wave. Anomalous health incidents / Havana syndrome attacks are side effects from being saturated by this modified spoof GNSS/GPS L1 1575. 42 MHz carrier signal / carrier wave, and they are electromagnetic hypersensitivity syndrome and microwave auditory effect, hearing / fray effect. Havana syndrome, cricket noise, and Havana syndrome ailments. How anomalous health incidents / Havana syndrome attacks GPS spoofing provide audio surveillance. This is very important. A simulated spoof GNSS/GPS carrier wave / carrier signal L1 1575. 42 MHz can be used as a global transportation / targeting system and can carry audio / video radio frequencies and binary codes / data. When L1 1575. 42 MHz GNSS/GPS signal is combined with digital phase locked loop, this creates the ability for this system to record and provide surveillance. When L1 1575. 42 MHz GNSS/GPS signal is combined with digital phase locked loop with a GNSS/GPS simulator generator targeting and saturating an area, the digital phase locked loop can modulate, record, and demodulate playback, being done with frequency modulation of audio / video radio frequencies and binary codes / data, turning audio from within saturated area into digital radio wave / signals, making audio accessible from GNSS/GPS simulator generator or by digital software defined radio. SDR equals live audio surveillance from surrounding area. This also included sound from a TV signal, cordless phones, cell phones, and because the target is saturated with L1 1575. 42 MHz human conversations from within saturated area. Also by combining the digital phase locked loop with the L1 1575. 42 MHz, they are able to phase synchronize and lock onto almost any wireless electronics within a targeted saturated area, even your car's Bluetooth or satellite radio, without a password or code, to provide surveillance, hacking, and torture on the go. This is surveillance created by GNSS/GPS spoofing with the ability to use the world's GNSS/GPS satellite system, making this a global targeting satellite surveillance system with side effects creating torture. Side effects by being saturated by this spoofed GNSS/GPS carrier wave/carrier signal include electromagnetic hypersensitivity syndrome (EHS), creates Havana syndrome minus ailments/cricket noise, and microwave auditory effect hearing/fray effect swelling of the cochlea and temporal lobe producing ability to hear electromagnetic waves and radio frequencies and what is carried on those radio frequencies from within this system. So these both produce a buzzing noise Havana syndrome cricket noise/tinnitus and major pressure to the head. GNSS/GPS L1 1575 42 MHz carrier wave/carrier signal are made up of microwaves from within the electromagnetic spectrum and radio frequencies because they are GNSS/GPS L1 1575 42 MHz. They can target any area the world's GNSS/GPS satellite system can go. Prolonged saturation of GNSS/GPS carrier wave/carrier signal are responsible for creating electromagnetic hypersensitivity syndrome. And microwave auditory effect hearing/microwave telepathy/fray effect responsible for Havana cricket sound. Electromagnetic hypersensitivity syndrome can cause tinnitus, headaches, fatigue, stress, sleep disturbances, skin prickling, burning sensations, rashes, pain, ache in muscles, head pressure and many other health problems. In severe cases, such symptoms can be a real and sometimes disabling problem for the affected person, causing psychological distress. Microwave auditory effect hearing, microwave and radio frequencies, enabling target to hear electromagnetic waves within saturated area, Havana cricket noise and anything being carried on radio frequencies within this system V2K. Voice to God, any human/mammal within saturated/target area is being constantly saturated with microwaves and radio frequencies from simulated generated GNSS/GPS carrier wave/carrier signal L1 1575 42 MHz, causing a phenomenon called microwave auditory effect hearing/fray effect. This is when microwaves and radio frequencies cause the swelling of cochlea and temporal lobe on any human/mammal within targeted area, creating the ability to hear electromagnetic waves, cricket noise, and radio frequencies and whatever audio is being carried on those radio frequencies within this system V2K. Voice to skull. This is a side effect used to make target look and feel insane. Microwave auditory effect hearing takes place between 200 MHz and 3 GHz. Havana syndrome attacks are carried out in the L portion of radio frequencies 1575 42 MHz to be exact, which is well within the range of microwave auditory effect hearing. Target must be saturated with a simulated GNSS/GPS carrier wave/carrier signal pulse electromagnetic loop for a period of time, which is not a problem because the terrorists are using this time for surveillance, monitoring, and hacking whatever targeted area they desire. People/mammals must have saturation time. They will not hear it immediately when walking into a targeted area. It takes time for your body to absorb the microwaves and radio frequencies to hear the radio frequencies V2K. and pulse electromagnetic waves Havana cricket noise. This system has the accuracy of the world's GNSS/GPS system and can target one single person halfway around the world if need be. When target calls for help and first responders say, "I can't hear anything," this is because they have spent no time in the simulated GNSS/GPS carrier wave/carrier signal, microwave, radio frequency saturated area, so they would not hear the cricket noise pulse electromagnetic wave/radio frequencies. Now for the voltage control oscillation VCO is part of the phase lock loop. The VCO also controls amount of torture by controlling amount of power voltage and oscillation given to this system. VCO is part of the digital phase lock loop. Also keep in mind terrorists can give this system such little power and not even be noticed and still perform surveillance. By raising the VCO voltage, heating of dermis/skin right underneath the epidermis with electromagnetic waves, microwaves, can occur causing a burning sensations without leaving a mark. Target may feel a warming/burning when they are in a targeted area because they are totally saturated with electromagnetic waves/microwaves/radio frequencies. Carrier wave/carrier signal are made up of electromagnetic waves, microwaves, radio frequencies, radiation. These are the tools needed to produce satellite surveillance, data hacking, and torture. I had one of two choices to make: let this drive me insane for the past 11 years or find out how they were doing it. You are looking at part of a decade's worth of torture-induced research and knowledge. We are being tortured daily for what I have uncovered about Havana syndrome attacks. Ways to tell if you are being hit with a anomalous health incident / Havana syndrome attacks. This spoof GNSS/GPS can be manipulated live because they are produced with a GNSS/GPS simulator generator, which is basically a GNSS/GPS radio frequency producing and manipulation, transportation, and receiving of radio frequencies computer that can generate radio frequencies / radio signals carrier waves / carrier signal live. They can carry many forms of information back and forth from target to terrorists because they are combined with a digital phase lock loop. This allows this system to create a digital electromagnetic loop to modulate record and demodulate playback onto carrier signal live. Because this is a direct spoof GNSS/GPS signal, it is much stronger than the signal we get from our wireless electronics. Saturation of the direct GNSS/GPS simulator generated carrier wave / carrier signal, causing GPS spoofing, which is interference or taking over the target's GPS. This is how diplomats and basically anyone can tell immediately if they are under a GNSS/GPS satellite surveillance / attack system. Aka Havana syndrome attack. 1. Google search their immediate location, the address they are at right at that moment then. 2. Bring it up on Google Maps. 3. The blue location indicator will be moving independently and at times not even in the approximate location that the diplomat / target are in. This system is made up with oscillating electromagnetic waves, microwaves, and radio frequencies. Oscillating, which can be controlled with the VCO from the digital phase locked loop, produces low to moderate forms of radiation, which can be detected by a thermal camera. I have proof. Not infrared but a thermal camera. It looks like a glowing wall around targeted area. It also radiates the target's water supply, and that can be seen as well with a thermal camera. Havana syndrome attacks are spoof GNSS/GPS, which can be produced with a GNSS simulator generator. This generator can work with other generators like a vector generator, binary code manipulation, and other systems. When a spoof GNSS/GPS carrier signal L1 1575 42 MHz is combined with a digital phase locked loop, creating a target-ready pulse, electromagnetic microwave phase locked loop carrier signal. This system can be used for surveillance and torture with the ability to utilize the world's GNSS/GPS satellite system for mobility. This system works by saturating targeted area with a pulse electromagnetic phase locked loop with the ability to modulate rec and demodulate playback any audio, video, binary code / data from within this selected targeted area. No wonder why they would be using this on American diplomats, spies, and areas of the White House.